For decades, there has been an unfounded stigma surrounding the spice MSG. It got so bad that many Chinese restaurants had to post no MSG signs to try and reassure customers. But over the last decade, there's been a growing push to reverse that stigma. And in San Francisco, the issue is taking center stage beginning tonight at the San Francisco Playhouse. Loureen Ayyoub explains.
Monosodium glutamate, better known as MSG. It's a flavor enhancer that has been used in various cuisines for centuries. But over the past several decades, the ingredient got a bad reputation. Renowned Chinese-American chef Kathy Fang says she felt that negativity around it from an early age.
I, even as a kid, started to feel this sort of stigma around using the ingredient.
As the owners of iconic Bay Area eateries House of Nanking and Fang Restaurant, Chef Fang says hearing the negativity about MSG when she was a young girl caused her to express concern to her family.
I went to my grandmother while she was making dinner for me and saying, "Oh, Grandma, like, we shouldn't be using MSG. It's like not good for you." And my grandmother would be like, "Stop what you're saying. You don't know what you're talking about." And she's like, "I'm going to put more MSG in the dish tonight because it makes you smarter."
Grandma might have been joking, but the myths and stigmas around MSG were very real. It's been more than a decade since the FDA classified the ingredient as generally recognized as safe. It's the same designation given to most foods that are safe to eat around the world, but stigma around MSG remains with some diners.
They will just assume and say, "Oh, you must not use MSG, right? Because that's so bad for you. Why would you?" And early on, I would have trouble kind of answering questions like that. It would make me feel really uncomfortable.
And that nuance is being explored in Exotic Deadly, a new play at San Francisco Playhouse. Directed by Jessica Prudencio, the play examines the universal feeling of being misunderstood.
Exotic Deadly is this heartfelt comedy about family and food and our relationship to our identity and our relationship to food.
Written by Keiko Green, the MSG controversy is unraveled from an unlikely lens.
I really want everyone to come and surprisingly see themselves in this 14-year-old teenage Asian American girl.
Chef Fang says the misconceptions about MSG unfairly targeted Asian restaurants, even though the ingredient is common in many cuisines.
We were kind of unfairly pegged to using this ingredient as being the only cuisine that used it, which is not true.
The negative assumptions never stopped the Fang family from remaining true to their recipes. But it has caused many Asian restaurants to attempt to appease worried diners.
You'd find restaurants sometimes putting signs up and having to say like, "Oh, we don't use it," or whatnot. It kind of made, I feel like, our people feel bad about ingredients that we've been using for like hundreds and hundreds of years.
And healthy and proud of who you are.
And ultimately, as the play depicts, flavor comes in many forms.
It's not something we can just take out and change, and we don't want to. It is part of our culture. If we were to cook based off of what other people felt, then that food would be soulless.
And if there is a main ingredient Chef Fang must include in her dishes, it is always lots of soul.